Hey everyone, it's Cameron here with the XP Realty, the Grider Peterson team in Idaho Falls. I have been wanting to address some comments that I've heard made over the last several years about our housing market. People say, I'm going to wait until the market crashes and then I'll buy a house. Well, the market's not going to crash. That's not to say we're not going to have a correction, but as far as like what happened in 2008, a completely different set of circumstances than what we have now. There's no bubble. In fact, the one thing that you have to have in order to have a bubble is a surplus of inventory, whether we're talking about curling irons, blow dryers, houses, cars, or toasters. And by all accounts, and several economists that I've read, in fact, an article that was just published last week on Yahoo News, one economist is looking at this and saying house prices are going to continue to go up because of the housing shortage. A couple of articles I've read in the last 6 months, one of them from an economist at University of Chicago, Illinois, estimated that we're short probably about 4.5 million single-family homes in the United States. And that's, that's just over the whole average across all price points. 4.5 million single houses. That's not, you can't just wave a magic wand and make those houses appear. What that would entail is us building another 4.5 or 450,000 homes a year on top of what we're already building, which is about 350 to 375,000 homes a year right now. We'd have to build close to 900,000 homes a year over the next 10 years in order to alleviate that shortage. And with population growth, kids grow up, want to move out of mom and dad's house, buy their own home. This housing shortage isn't going anywhere, coupled with the cost of construction that continues to go up. And so I don't want to be the bearer of bad news to those folks that say they're going to buy a house after the market crashes. Like I said, I'm not saying there's not going to be a correction, but it's going to be like this. It's not going to be a tank. So the best case scenario for those folks is to buy now while money's relatively still cheap. Now by the averages that we've seen mortgages over the last 50 years, anything under 7% is a good deal. And that's taking into account during the Jimmy Carter presidency when we had 18% interest rates, sometimes up to 22% interest rates. Right now we're looking at about 4.25 to 4.5, which is still a good interest rate based on national averages. So buy a house now while the money's relatively cheap to borrow or buy, depending on your point of view on how money's handled. Second thing, as far as a housing crash or a bubble in the market and things crashing, so those folks that are going to buy a home after the market crashes, if they're going to trade in their home then, if the market does crash, it's not going to pick and choose which house it's going to hit. It's going to take yours with it too. So all of the equity that you're sitting on right now, because of all the appreciation that we've seen over the last 5 years, that's going to get wiped out if there is a crash. It's going to take your equity too. And so you won't have anything to go into that new house. And with interest rates continuing to climb, it's going to be more expensive. So borrowing the money to buy a house is going to set you back even more. You'll be able to buy less house. So why not get the equity out of your home right now and put it to good use? And stay tuned to my next video and I'll tell you what to do with that equity and how to make a good decision regarding that equity. Thanks, and have a great, fantastic day.